Greetings, Glitter Gang, and happy Thursday. It's 9 o'clock on Thursday, December 1st. You're here for Kathryn Scraps Live. My name is Kathryn. We're working on embellishing the Coffin album, and we have two coffins left to go, and then part of a third coffin. So we'll see how far we get. But we at least have gotten all the pockets in now, so we're in good shape there. And I pulled out all of the Edgar Allan Poe stuff, so we're just going to kind of get this all decorated and in between these two pockets. And we started here. We have the bust of Edgar Allan Poe, and we have taken the heart that's in the collection and put it on the book. So this is now the Telltale Heart, or, you know, close enough. So, all right. So now we have the Raven and the Ravens. And then we also have this Spooky Skull one. So I think what I'm going to do is put these two on the right and this one on the left. And these will all be, you know, journaling spots and such. So, especially these larger ones. Although on the back of Edgar, of course, we have put book paper because... Oh, I didn't ink Edgar. So I'm so sorry, sir. So sorry, Mr. Poe. All right, there we go. Okay. All right, so now let's go ahead and start with this one. So good evening, everyone. I hope you all had an amazing day today and a nice holiday. Kitty, what the hell? Kitty, stop it. Kitty's like tearing up the corner of my office. Like I can hear her like frantically digging in the carpet for treasure. Kitty doesn't want us to get our security deposit back. Cats don't care about security deposits. That's not high on their priority list. Hello, hello to everyone. So Kitty is up here with me, but she's mostly on the floor. So she got lots of pets and such, and now she's destroying the carpet. We'll see what else she's up to. Hello and welcome. This is a live show I do twice a week at 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. on Thursdays. This is the first... She's hunting for treasure. She likes to, I don't know, she likes to dig on carpet. It probably just feels good on her little claws. I remember the first time Kitty and Tiny Cat ever saw carpet. It was at a La Quinta on our drive to Tampa when we moved from San Antonio to Tampa. And when we put them down on the carpet, they were like, what is this magical substance? And then they started ripping it up immediately. So... Hey, enough. You don't need to be doing that. Why don't you come over here and get some pets and say hi to your friends instead? All right, so, yeah, this is the Coffin album. This is part of a series. All of the instructions on how to make this are available in the archives or in the YouTube playlist. He's being extremely quiet now, so that's even more concerning. I cut it out before sticking it down. I did that last week too, or... Annoying. All right. And not next week, but the week after that is book club. We'll be discussing the library book by Susan Orlean, which is about a library fire. But I think it's also just about libraries in general. And we will not be having shows the last 2 weeks in December because my family is coming down for Christmas. And you know they always stay a while, so we'll just all take the last couple weeks off for winter break. And then we'll meet back at the beginning of the year. So, because I did cut this one out first, I was able to get really close to the edge, and so I was able to get those holes, which is why I switched to this paper from the paper that I already had picked out. All right. So that's that one. So let's not repeat that same mistake. So. You'll be in Charleston with your family for the last 2 weeks. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. So what I'm doing when I'm cutting those slits in the paper, that's just showing me where the edges are. So that's just so I know where the pattern paper is, so I don't put this too low. Okay. All right, and then I am going to make a little like collage here. So we're going to use a few things on this one. And that is just gonna that. Got a little bit of notebook paper. We're gonna do I want to tear this just so it has a torn edge. It's just when you're trying to tear such a skinny little piece off, it's a little hard. So I just use tweezers when I need to tear little small bits. All right. Okay, and then I'm going to just ink this. And I'm gonna just put a little liquid glue right along the top edge of this so that, you know, where it's gonna overlap the other paper, there's some adhesive. Okay, and then I'm gonna take the same paper and then just tear it again. Here. Okay. And then just the same thing with this one. I'm gonna just put a little bit of glue on the edges. I'm just gonna stick it down, but I'm going to stick it down a little bit crooked. Okay. And this one can go here. And then just underneath here, we need some glue, so just going to slide a little glue underneath. All right, and then I'm gonna go ahead and stick her. I'm gonna ink this lady, but I'm gonna cut this out first just so I know exactly where all the edges are, and then we'll put her down. Oh, oops. I don't need to use a knife because it hasn't. It's good to go. So, Kitty, are you checking Marcel's stuff? All right. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. So now we're just gonna Anchor up, sticker down. All right, so there's a little, oh, I did it all upside down. Okay. Perfect. All right, how are we gonna fix this? What to do? What to do? Okay. All right. Just gonna see if I can cut this piece out without too much hassle, and we'll start there. I don't think I'm going to be able to, simply because I did use liquid glue, which, you know, it's not as easy to correct mistakes when liquid glue is involved. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. Okay, dokes. So, that worked better than I thought it would, to be honest. So, all right. Okay. Now, all we have to do all right, so that little spot where it's torn, I'm going to just use some of this little book paper to fill it in, and it'll just look like behind the wallpaper in this house, there's book paper. Okay. Yeah, it's really not too bad. It could have been much, much, much worse. Definitely. Well, we just tore this. There was no adhesive on this, so we need to, or no glue underneath it, so we've got to. Get it stuck back down. All right. Now this side is going to be the hardest side, of course, so I think I'm going to just try to line it up as best I can with the wire and use the wire. All right, perfect. All right. Now, theoretically, we should be able to more or less reverse it. Yeah. All right. There we go. Ta-da! I mean, it's not perfect, and if I was doing this like not on a show, I would probably just reprint. I just need to put a little bit of glue under this corner. You know, but I am doing it on a show, so now you have learned how to fix something like this should you not be able to reprint. So, okay, we did it. That was quite a bit harder than I thought it would be, Marcel. Hey, babes. Hey, baby. Are you going to come say hi? Hi. You see Nanacon? Yeah, he sees Kitty. And as cool as we all are, nothing compares to Kitty in Marcel's eyes. Nothing, no one. She's his best friend. Exactly. It's distressed. All right, so now we can go ahead and ink these 3. so we're going to put this one back there. And then this one go in here. And then this one. All right, so next we've got this one. We've got our two ladies to do. And then we've got the skull. So this skull and this lady, they're gonna go in this pocket, and this lady is gonna go in this pocket. And then whatever we do with this, we may not use it just because tonally it's so different from everything else that we've got. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so the skull's gonna go on the book paper. We've all decided Marcel needs a puppy. He has too much playtime energy for the rest of us, so he has to just get his own puppy. I don't know how we're going to teach Marcel how to walk his puppy, but, you know, we'll figure it out. You know who hates the vet is Marcel. He's such an easygoing, happy little guy, but the vet is like a no-go zone for him. Absolutely not. Hates cars, hates the vet. No. Uh-uh. All right, so here we go. We'll cut out this skull. All right, Marcel. Has scampered off somewhere, so who knows if he'll be back. He's had quite the busy day today. For this afternoon's class, he slept in his little crinkle tube for the whole class, pretty much, because he doesn't like the way the undo smells. Hey, buddy. Oh my gosh, we have a tiny cat. What? Do I have all three cats in the office at the same time? My goodness. Hello, Tiny. Hi. Hi, Tiny cat. Hi. Hello. Hey, what you doing, Tiny cat? Oh, no, she just ran downstairs. Kittens are a lot less work than dogs. Hey, buddy. You saw a knife come out and you said, now's my chance. Is that it? All right. Wow. He just like walked on the desk so you knew he was here and then off he goes. drive by. Yeah, he heard about this Santa Claus, so he wants to make sure he's not on the naughty list. He's like, am I on the naughty list? I better suck up just in case. Cat cameo, a catio. Well, that's, catios are already a thing, so never mind. All right, so got our skull done here. All right. Now, I'll make this a journaling page. And this a journaling page. Oh, this is the tape that I want. All right. So, did a little bit of Christmas shopping after the show, so my mom is done. So now I just have literally everyone else. I've only done one person. So, somebody's back and tearing up. Okay. I think Tiny and Marcel are engaged in. Are you guys playing a game? You guys. They're playing one of their new favorite games, which is Murder the Sponge. So, which is where they have this sponge and then they try to kill it because it's scary. Tiny and Marcel are becoming friends. They have a far less combative relationship than Tiny has had with Kitty and Tiny has had with Marcel previously. So, they have some little games they play with each other, Tiny and Marcel, that are kind of, I guess I would say hide and seek is probably the closest thing, but it's mostly they just hunt each other. But like it's consensual hunting as far as I can tell, because like when they find each other, they just, yeah, there's not really like violence, you know. So. So if you can hear them running and tearing up the carpet as they play this game, that's what that noise is. Yeah, they don't murder each other anymore. They don't even really face punch each other. So Tiny and Marcel get along very well now. I mean, not very well. Tiny doesn't get along very well with anyone or anything, but they're getting along pretty decently. Okay, so let's see. What are we going to do with you, ma'am? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this paper so that I remove the line that's going all the way across. And I'm also going to trim this edge just to make this a little easier. Okay. And then I'm going to run a line of tape. All this scrambling around, I don't know if you can hear all this scrambling around, but hey, you guys gonna kill the sponge yet? Nobody knows where the sponge came from either, which is the best part about the sponge. It's just a mystery sponge. We don't have, no one's bought up sponge this color. We don't know where it came from. They just brought it in from the porch one day and tried to kill it. And they've been trying to kill it ever since. So, okay. And then for this one, okay. Now all I have to do is just line this up with the line. And now we have a full piece of paper. Okay. But yeah, I got my mom. So anytime I hear, she likes mysteries, murder mysteries and things. Anytime I hear about a murder mystery detective series that has a few books in it, that's not like a typical one you hear about a lot, like, you know, not James Patterson basically, or nor none of those types of people, right? And then so then what I do is I have a little list where I keep all of them, and then at the end of the year I can check to see what I've got. And so this year basically this one's cut out because we had to cut it out of a larger piece. So that's why it's already cut. Mittens probably, that's probably why they're trying to kill it. It's from Mittens 2.0. It's Mittens 2.0 sponge. I'm going to just use glue, I think. So, anyways, so then I can order them at the end of the year. So I had 3. Well, I had 4, and one of them I decided not to do. Because I had 2 from India, 1 from Cambodia, and 1 from Normandy. And I just did 1 of the 2 from India. So she's getting the start of a detective series from India. The start of one from not Cambodia, Laos. Either Cambodia or Laos. And then, I'm starting to think it might be Laos though. And then, Normandy. So, hopefully at least one of them she's never heard of before. And then I got her a really cool sweatshirt from her alma mater, a military exclusive one, like from the exchange. So, and then, so that'll be cool. It's a very cool sweatshirt. I actually like it a lot, so she'll probably hate it, but what can you do? So that's that. So she's getting 3 books and a sweatshirt. And then, Oh my gosh. I glued it on the wrong side. I just need to quit crafting, obviously. Okay, so simply just cutting off the top of this and peeling it off. Of course, it cut out the corner, but that's okay. That is okay. So we'll just say I was distracted by Cat's sponge soccer. And I'm going to figure it out pretty easily though, so fear not. Okay, so hey, are you being nice? You know how sometimes cats just sound like they weigh 1,000 pounds? Something about what they're doing, they just sound like heavy. What's that about? What's that about? All right. Okay, so we have this in the corner. Oops. All right. Then, okay, we can just go ahead and just put glue over the entire back of this. And then just stick that down. And then cut it. Okay. Okay, then, just so it looks like we did do this on purpose, we're going to go ahead and just tear off the top. Okay. And I'm gonna put glue on the top, and then here we'll just put glue. All right. Okay. Oh, so many mistakes, but leading to cute outcomes. So we'll just let it go. You know, Elsa knows best. Elsa knows best. All right. It fits the literary theme of these pages and everything, so we're all good. How's next year's book club going to work? So next year's book club is going to be adaptations. Now I didn't originally think that we would discuss the difference, but we can if you want to. So if you want to weigh in on that, let me know. What are your general thoughts? So the idea was we would just pick books that have movie adaptations, and then that way, you know, we'd have a fun little thing as we could also watch the movies if we wanted to. I wasn't thinking about doing both, but necessarily, I mean, I was going to do both, you know, just so I could like, that would be something that I would at least be knowledgeable about for people who had seen them and read them. But, you know, that's like something we can talk about if you want to do it. And so in that case, we would probably still just do the last Thursday of the month and maybe talk about the book in the afternoon and the adaptation in the evening. Or we could scrap that idea and go back to you all voting on books. Or you could each send me a book and then I could draw those books out of a hat. These are all things I've thought of. I mean, and then that's how we would choose our book. I'd probably have you each send me 3 books just so we'd have plenty of things. And then maybe I'd put a few things in there just in case. So that's another way we can do it if we don't want to do the adaptation thing. So, you know, I'm open to ideas. We would not do, well, first of all, I don't read anything unfinished. I think at this point, I deserve complete stories. So I don't engage with any unfinished media, especially unreliable authors. So like someone who's very reliable and who sticks to their schedule really well, someone like Brandon Sanderson, I might be willing to read, you know, if he's got 4 or 5 books out, the 5th book's supposed to be in 2023, I might start working on the 4 that are already out. But like George R.R. Martin, no, absolutely not. Never. I can't, never. I do own a George R.R. Martin book. He wrote a book about vampire pirates in Louisiana in like the 1700s or something. And I own that book, but it's a standalone novel, so I would read it because it's a complete story, but not A Song of Ice and Fire. And anyway, that's just too much to keep up with, trilogies and all that. So my plan is to continue the cultural events. We actually have one on Saturday. Jill says, I don't want to pick the books, even though the ones we've read, I've learned things from some of them. Okay, so you're fine with not picking the books. So I guess that's the first question, is whether or not there's anyone who wants to be involved in picking the books, or if you just want me to do it. Because it's fine. Like, I can do it. I mean, I didn't really pick the book. I mean, like I said, I found a list of book club books that were good for discussion, and then I picked the books from that list that seemed like the most interesting. So I kind of picked the books, but someone had already curated a list, and I just picked off of that list. Okay. So all of these, yeah, but you just can't. There's some authors who can be trusted to work and to finish what they have started, and there's some authors you can't. And so like in the fantasy genre, Brandon Sanderson is someone you can trust, and then George R.R. Martin is someone you absolutely cannot trust. Patrick Rothfuss you can't trust. James S.A. Corey, that writing duo, you can probably trust them. That's Daniel Abraham, and I don't remember who the other guy is. But like those fantasy epics, I'm part of a book club that reads those fantasy epics. And when I tell you, I have read 4 million words of Robin Hobb. 4 million words of Robin Hobb. So some of these writers go on and on and on and on. And that's not an exaggeration. That 4 million is like the number. That's the number of words. So yeah, Stephen King's pretty trustworthy. There's people who approach writing as a job, you know, like very much a job that they take really seriously, that they work on for like 8 hours a day, you know, and Stephen King is one of those people. You know, there's just, and then there's people who don't. So there's people who don't. I actually did see an interview with Brandon Sanderson where someone asked him why he thought George R.R. Martin hadn't completed A Song of Ice and Fire, which I thought was kind of a spicy thing to ask one author. And he said, of course, he doesn't know him personally, so he can't specifically say, but he could say that he struggles with endings when he just doesn't know how they end. That's what, you can't end a book unless you know how it ends. Yeah, 4 million words is a lot of words. It's a lot of words. Now, and she published them over like 20 years. So, you know, she didn't intend for you to read 4 million words in 2 years. But I did. Well, I'm not done yet, so I guess I'm only at like 3,800,000. I still have 3 more books to go. So I haven't read 4 million. I guess I did exaggerate. I have 3 more books of 16. So I have read 13 books in a series. Yeah, Dean Koontz is pretty good. You can trust Dean Koontz. Who else? Yeah, Diana. Yeah, she's been writing and writing. I tried to read the first one, and I just like, it wasn't the book for me at that time. And then since trying to read it, I have had my complete stories only rule, and so she's not eligible for reading. Because her story is not complete. Or is it complete? It's not complete yet even, right, Candy? She's still going. I think she's still going. Yeah, Gretchen doesn't want to read 4 million words of anything. And Gretchen, that is totally fair. Actually, I prefer someone in the book club, because I do read really quickly. So I was talking about how I don't really prefer books over 500 pages. And if you're going to write a book over 500 pages, like in my opinion, you need to respect the reader's time, and all of the pages have to count, you know. And then someone said to me that they couldn't imagine, that they thought I could probably count on, you know, one hand the books under 500 pages I'd read. Like, they were surprised that I prefer shorter books. And I was like, actually, I read over 100 books this year, and only 17 have been over 500 pages, and 13 of them were for that book club. So yeah, it's I think. Yeah, Candy. Candy said, I read James Patterson's Alex Cross series, and after about 3 times of his family almost being murdered because of his job, he probably should have changed jobs. Yeah, exactly. Ella's rule is that the series has to have at least 10 published, unless the story ends sooner. So, like, you know, if there's only 6 books in the story, there's got to be 6 books out. But if it's an ongoing thing, so she is still writing. Yeah. 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 So, yeah, that's pretty good. And I will read the other exception that I'll make is, so I'll make exceptions for very reliable authors who are almost finished, who have a publication date for the one that's missing. So that would be an exception that I would make. And then the other one the other exception I make is there are some series where the books are only kind of tangentially related to each other. So in other words, like, if you read the second book before the first book, you may be missing some context about some side characters, but as far as the plot, it doesn't really matter that much, and you could even go back to read the first one and you would probably be fine. Like series like that, I refer to as anthology series. I don't know if that's like what the actually like official name of them is. Those books like that, I'll read those as well because it doesn't matter. But there's probably a Song of Ice and Fire fan fiction that's got a good ending that everyone's just going to have to read because I don't think that series is ever getting finished. All right. All right, so we got an Undertaker in, so we don't need that. And I already said that we probably wouldn't use this one. Yes, exactly, Gretchen. Yeah, Gretchen says there's a big difference between To Be Continued and a book with all the same characters that has its own new contained plot. Yeah, like Candy says, that's what most of the detective series are, where you can kind of jump around without too many issues. Yeah. And then there's series that I haven't finished just because of one thing or another. Like I never finished The Wheel of Time, and actually The Wheel of Time is the reason I have this rule. And then, but I also like stopped reading the Scarpetta books because they got really weird. Like, like and you all know I read some weird books, but like they got weird. So, all right. So I don't think we have plenty of skulls, and I think we're okay for pose for this Poe image. So the question is, what are we going to do with this Poe image, if anything? And then, because like, well, actually, it doesn't look too bad because I think we can use it if we want to. I'm going to see if there's anything like kind of creepy and Poe-ish I can put on the back. You know, like from maybe one of the like book type pages. Like I want to almost write here like Annabelle Lee, but I think it's not going to work because it's just not quite. This is a little too long. This one's not going to work either. So, yeah. Yeah, Robin Hobb I described to someone as it's like a glacier, her writing. Like you're just reading and reading and reading, you feel like nothing's happening, but then all of a sudden you're somewhere else completely and it's like, "Oh, I've been moving this whole time." So I didn't feel like I was moving, but I was moving this whole time. Wonder if we should put this headless lady. Yeah, let's put this headless lady. Candy, what the heck? Do you know what she meant? Like you were going to be... scared or something? Or like, what's the book gonna pop out and murder you? I read Viola Davis's memoir this year, and she was talking about Jesse Stone. Was she talking about Jesse Stone in that, or was she talking about it in an interview? Maybe it was an interview, and someone was like, you know, what's something you did where you just had fun? And she said that. Like, and I didn't know she was in them, although to be fair, I only knew that Mr. Mustache was in them. That it was really scary. Oh, okay. I don't remember much about them other than how they were getting weird at the end. Tom, yeah. Selleck, Tom Selleck. Tom Selleck's mustache stars in the Jesse Stone movies. Her book is good, and I listened to the audiobook, which she reads. I will just say she's had a very difficult life with, so it's kind of like a bummer for a while. So it's not as much about like, it's a very serious book versus like a Hollywood fun book. You know what I mean? So, which is not to say that it wasn't excellent, because it was excellent. And I do recommend it, but just like know what you're getting into with it. You know what I mean? It's not like a fun Hollywood memoir exactly. I mean, it gets better, and there is like cool, interesting stuff. It's a great book. Especially because she did a ton of theater, and so there's a lot about the theater and all of that. But yeah, she's definitely had a tough time. And, all right, so I'm gonna put all right, now do I want the flowers and the lady off to the side? Yeah, I think this is about what I want. Yes, it's a hard read at first because her life was difficult. But you know how she is now, so like it's going to be okay. That's interesting. That makes me think of Alice Cooper's Golf Monster, which is about how golf helped him with a tough time. So like there's a lot of people who have written like really interesting things about their hobbies. We could just read all memoirs next year. Just try and find really offbeat ones like Hooked, or like Golf Monster, or Even As You Wish. Andre Agassi's Open is really good. So, but yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. So we, you know, we just have to. Yeah, Hidden Figures is a book and movie. I think so is October Sky. That's another. Of all the memoirs I've read, which one? I mean, I would say probably the one that I think about the most is... Oh, I want to read Billy Porter's book. And I want to read also Firestein's book. Too. And then there's also like a fashion one that I want to read. I'm just going to look at my nonfiction section and see if I can. Oh, I want to read Sitting Pretty. That's another memoir I want to read. Will. I want to read Will. Andrea Agassi's memoir is really excellent. It's written by, it was co-written by a journalist, like a really excellent journalist. So the writing is very good. And you know, he's very open. Like, it's like a cliche to say it because that is the title of it. But he's very, like, he just... is, oh, The Chiffon Trenches by Andre Leon Talley. That's the other one. That's the fashion one that I have on here that I want to read. The Chiffon Trenches. That's the one I really do recommend, that one. That one was so good. I'm just going to scan through my Goodreads and see which ones, like, if I can jog my memory. And I really recommend the Carrie Elwes one about making The Princess Bride. If you like The Princess Bride, I've recommended that one before. I read I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. That's another really difficult read. But still very engaging. And it's not a memoir, but it is nonfiction, The Right Stuff. Finding Me is good. I want to read James McBride's book about his mother. That was a very challenging read, Ella, yeah. And I would say that Finding Me is going to be... I found Finding Me is a little bit different because Viola Davis has done more work on herself and has had more time to process what happened to her. But like what happened to her was like also there's also child abuse involved. So, and a complete failure of her and her family, you know, by like every single person that they ever came in contact with, like the schools and everything. So it's just really rough to read as well. It's the same with Sex Cult Nun. That one's another challenging one. I need to read some more happy memoirs. I mean, the Carrie Elwes one is happy. That's yeah, I want to read James McBride's book about his mother. Something water. But I don't know. And what's the Tender Bar? That's another one I want to read. That's a memoir. I want to read more normal person memoirs, like the Tender Bar. I haven't read that one, Barbara Jean. Oh, I read March by John Lewis. It's a graphic memoir. That one is so good. That one is so good. Strong recommend for that one. Hey, sweetie. Hi. Oh. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, as you wish. But yeah, I definitely... Oh, say... Is it Say My Name by Chanel Miller? Know My Name. Know My Name by Chanel Miller. Another challenging one, but also excellently written. Hi. Hi. All right, so Edgar's got a headless lady on the back. Oh, and Educated by Tara Westover, want to say. It's a bunch of memoirs. Okay. Hi. Just in and out, in and out. Hi, buddy. Oh. You gonna kill this paper? Does the paper have to die? Oh, I got you. I got you. Oh. All right. He's on the prowl. I don't know. I don't know what he wants. I don't know if he knows what he wants. Okay, so I cut the edges off. That should help a little bit. And then we'll go ahead and... So we've got this one. And I'm actually maybe going to tuck it in lady side up. I don't know. All right. All right. So... But with the adaptation thing, I mean, we can even read some classics because, of course, I think almost everything, if not everything, Jane Eyre wrote's been adapted. Charles Dickens. Now, we've read... we've read Dickens before, so maybe Jane Austen, but... I don't know which Jane Austen. I guess Persuasion, they just did Persuasion. Although I've heard from people who like Persuasion that they're not too happy with adaptation, but maybe that's why we should do that one so that it would be good for discussion. We can just be mad. And with these, we're going to do 3 in one and 1 in the other. It's not 2 in one and 2 in the other. Okay. And then this set will be done. And we will be good to go to move on to the next page. How exciting. All right. Oh, I think I put them all on upside down. Nope, I didn't. Okay. I was about to be like, wow. Wow. Wow, self. All right. So since we don't have a little tiny Marcel, but there's all kinds of interesting, like, for example, The Secret of Nim, that cartoon is based on a book called Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim. So, of course, there's Flowers for Algernon. Like, there's all kinds of things. So, and then, of course, there's A Song of Ice and Fire, which we all decided we're not going to do because Gretchen doesn't want to read 4 million words. And that's totally valid. Oh. Yeah, some of these moms are just like, ugh. That Amazon movie that came out at Halloween, My Best Friend's Exorcism, is a adaptation. A lot of books are Bullet Train, that Brad Pitt movie, that's an adaptation. So there's all kinds of adaptations. So, you know, we could read a wide variety of genres. Mommy Dearest. Another adaptation. Very subtle acting in Mommy Dearest. Very subtle. No one overacts at all in that movie. Barbara, please. All right. Mrs. Winterbourne, a movie with Ricky Lake and Brendan Fraser, is based on a Cornell Woolrich novel called So I Married a Dead Man. So, of course, Legally Blonde is based on a book, although I've heard the book is not good, or not as good as the movie. Although I guess that shouldn't necessarily stop us. Although I would like to read good books, so I think maybe that should stop us. What else? The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, although that's a very long book and a very challenging read. So yeah, there's plenty to pick from. So it's not a problem if we want to stick to adaptations. So yeah, on Saturday, as in the day after tomorrow, Mr. Lifeguard and I have dinner reservations at 6 and tickets to see Hadestown at 8. So Hadestown is going to be here for just a week. And my sister knows someone who's like a supporter of the theater and was able to buy tickets before they went on sale. So she got us tickets. And my sister and her husband are treating us to them as a thank you for all our help with poor little Stormy boy. Which was very nice of them. Not necessary, but it was very nice of them. So we're going to go have dinner and see Hadestown. And I don't know anything about Hadestown other than everyone loves it. So that's all I know. Kim says Hadestown is awesome. You're going to love it. So there you go. I expect to love it. I do. I absolutely expect to love Hadestown. I think it's a Persephone and Hades retelling, generally speaking. So that's the gist I've gotten of it, that it's a Hades and Persephone retelling. And I think it appears to be modernized or something. So it is an adaptation. Yeah. So I'm going to put the mouse tails over here, and then I'm going to put the rat tails and the raven stuff over here. So, but yeah, Hades and Persephone myth retelling musical. That's what I know about Hadestown. Oh, it's 2 Greek tragedies put together. So maybe it's not just Hades and Persephone. So Hades and Persephone are having a real moment right now. There's like a lot of Hades and Persephone stuff, like lore and all kinds of stuff. So I've seen a lot of Hades and Persephone stuff out and about in the world. I guess, you know, you can, I mean, it's, everything is new again. All right. So we finished these pages. Oh, Orpheus and Eurydice. Yes, that's correct. Because Hades and Persephone are involved in Orpheus and Eurydice. So that's a good combination. All right. Okay, so here we go. So the Edgar Allan Poe layout is finished. So we just have one more coffin to do, and I think it's a Creepy Dolls coffin, but we'll see. So we've got our mouse tails, our bust of Edgar Allan Poe. We've got our telltale heart. We'll just say we've got Annabelle Lee. We've got this skull, and these are journaling spots, a lot of them. And then we have room for our 4 photos. So, good shape. We're in good shape. All right, so I'm just gonna, I'm looking forward to it. I haven't been to, the last musical I saw in the theater was Kinky Boots was here. And we went to see that. It's this, so maybe 2 years ago, I want to say. So I haven't been to it was before the 1/9. So it must have been at least 3 years since I've seen a musical in the theater. We've been to concerts and stuff as part of, you know, our cultural year, but and we've been to a dance performance as well, but we haven't been to like a musical where everyone is bursting into song, singing and dancing, all of that. All right, so then here we have the skull, the raven feathers, the raven eyeball jellied, pure rat tails. You know, you don't want anything else mixed in with your rat tails. Are totally normal, nothing weird happened to it. Raven card, and then little collage on the back. We've got Edgar Allan Poe, book Life of Edgar Allan Poe, kind of looks like a bookmark to me. And then the Raven tarot card looking kind of thing. It actually will be the first musical we've seen since, you know, everything opened back up. So, like I said, we've been to a couple concerts, but nothing on this level. So I'm looking forward to it. We're gonna have dinner at Oak and Ola, which is a restaurant here that has a Michelin, has a, like, you know, the Michelin star people, they have a designation that's like budget eats, I guess, and I assume it's budget eats for the Michelin star crowd. So, you know, nice restaurant for the rest of us. And one of the restaurants in Tampa got this budget eats designation. And so we have reservations there for Saturday. So that's where we're going to go. So this corner is lifting, so I couldn't get it in the pocket, so I've got to stick it down a little bit. So that's what we're going to do. So, oh, and I don't know if I mentioned this. My hair color changed. So it is no longer, it was green, and then I put blue on top of the green after the green faded, and now it's been totally redone. And it's dark pink, like rose gold, and orange. I don't think we need this woman. Sorry, skeleton lady. We don't need you. You can go in the next page. I'll make room for you, I promise. All right, so there we go. Okay. All right, so what I'm gonna do, yeah, this is better than the green. I think I'm done with green for a while with hair. Definitely. I'll take pictures before we go out, and I'll post them on Facebook. Once we're all dressed and my hair is all done and makeup all nice, I'll get some pictures of us. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We have a half hour left. So what we'll do is we'll pick out all the embellishments for the next page and decide like which ones we want and kind of get them prepped. And then that way next week when we come back, we can get those turned into journaling spots and whatever, and then do the covers. And then we'll be done. So I am going to end this recording here, but we're going to continue the show. So there'll be one more small part to the shows that come out from this week. Okay, so this is 3 of 4 for the week of December 1st. So if you are watching live, just hang tight. Nothing's going to change for you. If you're watching in the archives, go ahead and click to the next video and see how we pick out the embellishments for the Ladies and Dolls page, which is the page that's coming up. And if you're watching the playlist on YouTube, or if you just happen to come across this video all by itself, check the playlist on YouTube, always linked in the description down below. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.